Within the past 10 years in Highland Park, there have been at least 10 people that I know under the age of 25 who have decided to take their own life. I have felt that hopelessness, and I'm so grateful that I am on the other side of that hopelessness. I honestly didn't know that my life could look any different. Running just totally changed the trajectory of my life. My name is Keegan Martin. I'm 27 years old, and I grew up in Dallas, Texas. Grew up in a very loving household. Parents provided more than we could ever ask for. We each grew up wrestling. We were traveling pretty frequently, and so from an early age, I attached my identity to performance. I started drinking when I was about 16. First, it was just to kind of fit in. It helped me feel better, loosen the anxiety. I was honestly kind of burned out of sports at the time. We had been competitively wrestling since we were, 7, 8, 9 years old. Pretty quickly, drinking and driving became normal. That's kind of how I lived through high school, just this kind of double life of during the week I'm wrestling, but then on the weekends we're going out, having fun, partying, and kind of always felt that juxtaposition in my life. Once I got to college, I kind of made that decision then that I wasn't going to pursue college wrestling or anything like that. At that point in my life, I was just full on partying. Weed became more prevalent, and cocaine became more prevalent. I got a DUI, possession of controlled substance, and possession of marijuana. So that was the first time I had faced consequences from my addiction. But at that point in my life, I wasn't really ready to accept that I had an issue with substances. I was going to my probation meetings saying yes ma'am, no ma'am, playing the part of the clean-cut white kid from Highland Park, but in reality I was still smoking every day, doing coke every day. How I dealt with life led me to different substances, which really just led me down a bad path. Then in the fall of 2019, opioids entered my life. It was like I had finally found what I was searching for. Leading up to that, I was having to drink more, use more and more drugs to chase that feeling, but opioids kind of solved that for me. Or at least I thought so in the beginning. Within 6 months of me trying opioids for the first time, they had completely got their hooks into me. It was a mess to be around, and I didn't really realize how much hurt I was doing to my family. I remember getting back home and telling myself, all right, I'm gonna go pick up one more pill and then I'm done. That one pill led to another 2 years of opioid addiction. I eventually started taking out personal loans to feed my addiction, started stealing from my parents, really anything and everything to keep that addiction going. February 22nd, 2022. I was intervened on by my parents, by the grace of God, and I heard my dad running up the stairs, and I knew the life that I had been living was done at that point. Later on that night, when the withdrawals were about to start happening, I remember just getting on my knees and just pleading with the Lord. I was really scared. I knew at that moment that I had experienced something that I didn't deserve, something I didn't do, and the only way I can explain it is that it was the grace and mercy. I ended up going off to treatment the next day and was just really totally transformed during those 30 days. God totally saved my life. I came back to Dallas and I was really scared that I was gonna go back to my old ways. And then I found running when I was about a year sober, and I've just really been using running mainly as a form of recovery. 2023, I ended up running my first marathon. That kind of opened my eyes up to just fitness and how treating your body better actually helps your mind work better. And so that totally changed the trajectory of my life. I remember seeing the Sayless Projects pop into my Instagram feed, saw them running the first year from Dallas to Austin, and was like, what are these guys doing? Like, it was so cool. And I was like, dang, I want to be a part of that. So I reached out to Vincent like the next day and was like, dude, this is awesome. I love what you're doing. It had such an awesome message that resonated with me. And so I was grateful, and I had an awesome opportunity to run the year 2 relay and meet just so many other cool people and hear all the others runners' stories. A couple months after that happened, I reached out to Vincent specifically because within the past 10 years in Highland Park, there have been at least 10 people that I know under the age of 25 who have decided to take their own life. And it hit me and just wrecked me, because I have felt that hopelessness, and I'm so grateful that I am on the other side of that hopelessness. I tried to do it all by myself for so long. I just kept digging myself deeper and deeper. When I got to the point of surrender and asked for outside help was when things started to change for me. If there's something that we are able to do that can positively impact someone while they're still here, then it's absolutely worth it, 100%. There's no shame in not doing it alone. There's no shame in asking for help. It actually makes you stronger.